Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Alison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide.
Hi, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Welcome to this Memorial Day episode. And if you're listening to us on Memorial Day, like, good for you. But I suspect that many people will listen after that you are not. And I hope that you are having a relaxing, good memorial. I don't know. It feels so strange to say good about a Memorial Day, but that's what it's become.
But that's what it is.
Yeah. So perhaps you're enjoying some time with friends or family today, and we hope that you are, or doing nothing, which is always a gift.
Yes.
So maybe you're just home doing nothing and enjoying that, which is our segue to, we're going to be talking about when children are doing things. And this episode is based on something that Alison learned. So we're going to let Alison describe what she learned, because I objected to it. And that's why we're doing this episode. Go ahead.
I also kind of objected to it. I was like really thinking I was doing the wrong thing. But anyway, the Grammys were on recently, and I don't watch them because I listen to 90s grunge music. There's nobody on there that I know.
I'm older than you. I stopped watching the Grammys many years ago.
So when people talk about the Grammys, I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'm glad that person won, but I have no idea any of their music. So I don't even watch. It's not my thing. But after this particular award show, I guess there was this performance on that it got a lot of people on social media talking about it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I still don't know. I knew who the one woman was because she's from the 90s, but the other one I did not know. So, but still, everybody kept talking about it. And people were posting articles about how music makes you happy. And if you have music on in the background, it makes you happy, and how it's nostalgic and it could help you out. And it got me thinking, like, wait a minute, would that be true in the classroom too? Is having music on in the background helpful? So I started like just typing that, Googling that, seeing what I could find, and up came this article of a study done in Montessori schools of how children, if they had music on in the background, could focus more. And I found it interesting because I cannot focus with all that music on. So
no, I remember being young and doing homework with TV in the background.
yes.
And that was okay. But now I don't know if it's my age or something, but I can't have background noise.
I don't even in my house, like so I live in an apartment building. My neighbor, who I will say she's younger than me, so maybe it does have something to do with age. She always has music on. I could hear her playing her music in the background, doing whatever she's doing. She has off today. She had music on before I left. I was like, oh, that's great. I never have music on in my house. The only time I have music on is in my car when I'm driving. It's the only time I want background music is when I'm driving.
It could be like personal preference.
Could be.
But I don't know. I objected to this because when Alison said, oh, this study of Montessori schools says that children actually do better with music in the background, I said, no, I would not. Like, that can't be true for every student.
I can't teach with music on in the background all day long. Like there's sometimes in the morning, my children will say, hey, could you put the calming bubbles music on? Like when they first get there, I'm like, sure. And it'll be on for 10 minutes. I'm like, yep, got to turn it off. I'm done. I can't listen to it anymore. But then I felt bad because I'm like, what if there's children in my class that need that music?
But don't you think that for many children, too much sensory input is challenging? And here's the thing that's particular about Montessori. So after you told me this, and I just initially went, no, that can't be. Like, it wouldn't even apply to me.
Right.
I thought about the fact that what you read was Montessori. And so there are some things that make Montessori classrooms that are running in the true Montessori method different than many other early childhood classrooms. And when I say when they're running in the true Montessori method, that's because there's very loose parameters around using the word Montessori and in the title of your program. You can have one staff member who was certified as a Montessori teacher use the word Montessori for your school, and actually most of what's happening is not the Montessori method. You can look it up, folks. There are very loose parameters around the use of the name Montessori in the name of a school. And just if your children are going to a program named Montessori, you should ask questions like, do they do the Montessori method all day long? What is different about this method than the other places that I've seen? Because you may notice that they look very similar. And if they do, then it's probably not truly Montessori. I went one time like side story, I get,
Yeah.
but not really. I went one time on an interview in a Montessori program, and I walked around and I saw things that you wouldn't ordinarily see, like the dramatic play area, like the carpet for the large group time, and other things that are not typically found in a Montessori, true Montessori. And I said to the owner, I'm surprised to see some of these areas in the room. And she said, oh, these aren't our Montessori rooms. We have one room that's a Montessori room that the children visit. I forget how many times a week. You can do that. You can do
Okay.
So again, when I
Yeah.
say true Montessori, I mean the classroom or every classroom is running solely on the Montessori method. And if that's the case, there's differences between what happens there and in other early childhood program approaches, which include things like in a Montessori program, children are spending the day working independently, or if they choose in a small group, on something that interests them. So we don't have like these large group gatherings. They don't, in a true Montessori, you won't see like large group time with everybody together being asked to do the same thing at the same time. So my experience with walking into programs is that Montessori classrooms tend to be quieter than non-Montessori.
Okay, so then you're saying because they're already naturally quieter, having music on in the background wouldn't be as a distraction?
I'm saying when it's naturally quieter,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be overstimulating.
Okay. Yeah.
To the child. So think about this.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my doctor's waiting room, went to the doctor today, sitting in the doctor's waiting room. They have soft music playing in the background. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm sitting there reading my email, waiting to go in.
Right.
And it was very quiet there. I was the only patient in the waiting room. Right. You go in, it's fairly quiet in those sorts of places. So I wonder if the level of sound in the space makes a difference. And the fact that they studied this in Montessori could be a different result than if they went into a classroom that uses a different approach, like high scope, creative curriculum, Reggio Emilia, the ones where the children are, for lack of a better word, louder.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. I was going to say more active, but that's not true either because they're active in Montessori.
They tend to be quiet because children are working very independently.
True. I worked at a childcare center. Now, this is many years ago, and I hope that this policy has changed, but the policy was you were required to have background music on all the time.
Why? So it sounds like preschool?
I guess. I don't know. And it couldn't be like just like I would put classical music on because I could ignore that maybe. But I put like those songs like Twinkle Twinkle and Wheels on the Bus. I'm like, okay, I cannot be here. I left there every day with a headache and I can't concentrate. And it was like constant. You never got a break from noise in the background.
You can't have music with lyrics all day long because then the children can't concentrate on the task. There's a whole big thing about music and lyrics.
Yes.
Right? If you have lyrics playing all the time, the children are never truly concentrating on whatever it is they're doing because the lyrics take up part of your brain space. So,
I've also noticed it without lyrics, but songs that they know, like say they have Disney songs, but they're classical, like they have the kids will sit there and be like constantly worried, like, what movie is this from? Oh, I know this. And then they start singing even without it. So it's like, it's gotta be music. I think that they can't recognize maybe in the background
or just instrumental.
Yeah. Maybe. But the instrumental Disney ones, I used to play those in the background and the kids would be like, oh, this is and then they'd start singing like the lyrics, like they were constantly trying to figure out what movie is this from? And then they would figure it out and then they would sing it. So even without the lyrics, their brain was like filling in the lyrics, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I think that's what we do. We need completion like that.
Right.
I mean, how many times have I walked through a store and they have instrumental music and I start singing the words?
Like, wait, what movie is this from? What song is this? And then once you figure, and it'll drive you crazy until you figure it out. Yeah. And then you start singing it. Yeah.
Well, I hope that childcare you worked at stopped that policy because so much information came out about sensory input and overstimulating too much sensory input. There can be too much sound. And ideally, we want our early childhood classrooms to be somewhat noisy and organized chaos, because then children
Yeah.
are doing what children are doing. They're exploring, they're playing, they're doing the things we want them to do.
Right.
Not to say Montessori, I don't want to say the Montessori approach is a very, very legitimate
Yes.
approach.
Yeah.
Works wonderfully for many children.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any one approach that works for everyone. So you can have children who are functioning really well in like Reggio Emilia or high scope approach or creative curriculum or one of those approaches, and they're doing great there, but a few children maybe are not, and they would do better in more of a Montessori atmosphere, right? And there's no one perfect approach for everybody. So I keep thinking, well, this study was Montessori, and Montessori
but now I'm like
is
curious
different
about it, because I only worried of like, am I not helping this? Is there a student in my class that needs music on all the time, and is it fair that he or she doesn't get it? But then is it fair to the others if they don't need it? And is it fair to me either, because I can't concentrate myself when there's that much music on?
Yeah,
So
I can't either.
I can't do it.
If
It drives me crazy.
Let's say it's free playtime.
Yeah.
In many approaches, there's free playtime. So let's say it's free playtime, which tends to be a really noisy time of day, and they're recommending keep music on. I feel like the volume in that room would just keep going up.
Yeah.
And I want to respect the children with sensory input issues.
Right. But then to me, I'm like, if you're just playing it in the background to play it in the background, what's the purpose? Right? Like, if it's just there to be there, to me, I like things to have purpose. Like, so like if there's no need for that, then I'm like, then why are we doing it? What's the point?
Music is a wonderful tool for helping children to learn language, intonation of your voice, to remember things, to encourage physical movement and coordination activities, to again remember things like the songs that have letters and numbers, and though that doesn't teach them to use those letters and numbers, it helps to jog their memory. And music is a great connector of human beings. Children are so amused when I find out, for example, I'll ask families, what do you sing with them at home, or what songs do they love at home? And if I know it, I'll sing it in the classroom, and they're so amazed.
Okay, but I think that brings us back to why the Grammys, it was like a connecting thing. The connection makes you happy, not necessarily the music itself.
I have no connection to the Grammys.
No. I'm saying that people were posting on social media about that performance that they were talking about. It connected people maybe in a way. And so that connection made them feel happy, not the actual music or performance.
Maybe so again, music is great for so many reasons, right? Yeah. Communication, language development, all these reasons. But I think you're right.
Yeah.
If we're just playing it in the background, especially during active times of day, then I'm not sure the purpose, other than it's going to irritate some children, overstimulate them. I don't know. But I can see playing instrumental music, calming music at certain times of day.
Yes.
Because we want them to calm.
I do that.
I've done that during meal times. I've done that right before rest time.
At arrival times a lot.
Yeah.
Just so that they come in and it's the same music every day, and it's like calming.
Right. But all the live long day?
Oh, no. Nice connection to song there, though.
You like that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I can't do it myself. I think I would go insane to listen to it
all the live long day.
Yeah, all day.
It's too much. I can't
do it.
So although there seems to be research about this in Montessori settings, Alison and I, as you can hear or see if you're on YouTube, we are not convinced that this is going to eventually pan out to be good for every child in all settings. We are curious what you all do. So here's what we would like you to do. Find our Facebook page, How Preschool Teachers Do It page on Facebook, or go to our website, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com, and let us know. Or you can even comment if you're on YouTube watching us. You can comment right on YouTube. Let us know if you have music playing in the background all day, if you do, let us know that and let us know your experience with why you do that. What's your reasoning? And if you don't, we'd also like to hear from you and just tell us why you don't. What's your reasoning for that? Because if someone came to me and said, Cindy, you're not playing background music all the live long day. Why not? I can explain that to them, right? I have a reason.
Yeah.
We should all have a reason for the things we're doing in the classroom. We would like to hear your reason, no matter which side you fall on this debate of should background music be playing all the time. So please do contact us.
Yeah. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Because I'm also interested, like that childcare center I worked at was quite a large center. Do they still have that policy? Because I'm sure there's people still like,
I don't know.
and I'm just curious.
I don't know, but I hope that they don't for those
hope they
children who
don't.
have sensory input challenges.
Yeah.
Sensory processing.
Right.
You know?
Because even like I think school assemblies, like when we just had one on Friday where they played music in the background, but you couldn't hear the music over all the other noise. And it really did affect the students in my class. Like they were getting upset and crying, and we needed to leave because it was just too loud.
Yeah, it gets like that. They get really upset.
They got very, and it was making me upset that they were upset. So I was like, we're out of here. Like we can't sit here. Like it's not, there was no purpose for the music. It was just there.
We're going to leave it to the preschool peeps to tell us what they do.
Yeah.
I think that's what we should do.
What we
We're
should
just
do.
going to leave it to you to tell us what you do. And if you're listening to us after Memorial Day, we completely and totally understand, and you can contact us anytime about this. We're going to give it some time. Okay, folks, we will catch you next time on the podcast.
Bye, peeps.